Hi folks, hope you're all good. This is another video on the same topic as my last video, which is what to do with rich people in an equal society. So, as I've said in previous videos, the society I want to finally get us to is one where we have equal satisfaction. We also have equal power, and there's other features of the system. But the crucial bit here is equal satisfaction of our wants. Now, my mind has gone back and forth on how abrupt a transition to have. So, part of me thinks we should just zip to an equal society and not compensate anyone for anything to do with the past. But currently, I'm bending towards the idea of rewarding people who have worked hard and made bigger sacrifices, let's say, of one's satisfaction in their lives up till now. Now, I think it's probably impractical to try and compensate fully, because you got people who've spent their whole, let's say you got a person who spent the first half of their life making huge sacrifices, saving loads of money, and another person doing no work, just live freeloading off others. Now you get to the halfway point in these people's lives. Let's say we move over to the equal society we want to see. Now, if we're compensating people for the past, or put it in another way, if we're trying to have people equal in their one satisfaction over the whole of their lives, what we have to do is reverse these people's situations. So we allow the person who's been making sacrifices to just freeload, and the other person we force to work hard for the rest of their lives. So unfortunately, we create and we continue an unequal society in a way. It'll be unequal in the kind of short run, but equal over the whole of people's lives. So I don't think that's going to create the kind of effects that I want to see. So what I want to do is I'll go a little bit towards that, but not all the way. So my current idea is we have equality of one satisfaction in everything except for housing, and we have an inequality in one satisfaction in housing just for a limited period, let's say 10 years. So we have a 10-year period where basically the best houses go to the people who've made the biggest sacrifice, and the worst houses go to the people who've made the least sacrifice in their lives up to this point. So to sort of try to describe it a bit more technically, we'd basically give people with greater wealth the first choice of housing. So they'd get the best houses, but we'd weight it so that people who had higher pay rates in their lives, like had sort of better paid jobs, don't gain any advantage. So basically, the people who get the best houses are the people who've saved the most and saved stroke worked lots of hours. So, and the people who get the worst houses are the people who worked the least hours, stroke spent the most of their money that they got. So that's it really. So we'd have in my GEM system, which I've described in a previous video called GEM. I think I go through the whole of my system, and it seems that we need to have people move in house anyway to live in these micro communities of 100 people that I want to see. So people would have to move house anyway at the beginning, and that gives us the opportunity to divide up the houses in this new way, on properties, I should say, where the people who have made the biggest sacrifice, as I said, will get the best properties. It should be explained that the this thing will advantage older people, but I'm okay with that because there's people. What I'm worried about is someone who's like worked their whole life, they're just about to retire, and they're expecting, to get the enjoy the all this, what do they call it, postponed pleasure or deferred pleasure that they've been building up over the years, and then they suddenly told, you can't do that. They're going to sort of say that's not fair. So that's what the sort of person I'm worried about. A young person who's been hardworking hasn't sunk so many years into this thing. So basically, older people who are wealthier in our current society, they will get better houses, at least for 10 years. And yeah, that's it. I think there was one more thing I was going to say, but it escapes me right now. Anyway, I hope you think that's an interesting, fair system. Oh, sorry, there is. I think I remember the other thing I was going to say now. Yeah, that's right. So even after this is okay, so we have the housing thing I just mentioned, but I'm still worried about. I think I mentioned this in the last video. People being like rich people suddenly being told that they're not rich anymore. So oh yeah, so in this housing system, I should explain that I'm gonna zap away everybody's savings apart from, let's say, 5,000. Everyone gets 5,000, even people who had zero before, who had people who have massive debts before, people who have massive amounts of money before. They all just have this £5,000 now, dollars, to just enough so they're not, on the breadline, for a little bit of cash to continue with. So it's going to be really harsh for a lot of people, really, but especially people, I suppose, who don't even get this housing compensation. So as I said earlier, people who earn really high pay rates, they will be weighted against. So they won't be. They currently probably enjoy the best houses and stuff, but they won't be necessarily doing quite so well in this transition period. So what I'm going to do with them is those who have lost the most will get a bunch of free holidays, I guess, for a few years. I'm not sure how we're going to find all the hotels to put them in, because I'm not going to want to stop everyone else having holidays, but I think there's going to be some kind of thing where maybe holidays won't be as good for the other people for a while, because of these people getting sort of the best luxury holidays, that they won't have to dig into their 5,000 to pay for, or their ongoing pay after that, which will be roughly the same as everyone else's pay. So they, as I said, they'll have that and therapy, because if we don't provide them with something, they're going to be psychologically kind of worse off than everyone else, because of the relative sort of change they're facing. But I think a couple of years or 3 years should be enough. We can kind of taper that sort of the holidays off, so they eventually they get to normal, but hopefully we at that point we're all feeling happy and all in this big happy world. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting. If anybody objects or has any strong opinions for or against, or wants to join me in this movement, as it could be, please feel free to get in touch. All the best. Bye.